If we could get someone to leave a comment. I bet you're all sitting around waiting on the other streams. This is a complete fail tonight. Trying my best, guys. Trying my best. If you could shoot me a comment. I'm trying on my phone here now. I'm not even sure. I'm thinking they'll pop up and overlay the screen, but I don't know. If a couple of you could leave a comment just to see that I can see them. Okay, there we go. Popping up right over the screen. Good. Rock, I see yours there. Can you hear me loud and clear? Can you see me just fine? Not having good luck. I think this is live stream number 4 this evening. This I have Starlink here at the shop, and it has always been absolutely flawless. Super high speed, no connectivity issues, nothing. And now tonight, for some fine reason, I can't seem to get a good connection. And I'm guessing some people are giving up, or you're still over. Yeah, it might be YouTube. It might be YouTube this time. Like I said, we have absolutely perfect internet here. Starlink is mind-blowing. Actually, I'm in the process of switching our church out from the local provider to Starlink because we're having trouble live streaming. We can't seem to get good enough live streaming on the existing setup. Through Facebook, YouTube, or anything, always buffering and audio issues and stuff. So we're switching over to Starlink, which is on my recommendation because it's been perfect here at shop. So let's hope that's okay. Hopefully we get a few people that'll find this. It hasn't given up on us. But as I was saying, I was showing you those scales before we started buffering. I was showing you those scales upcoming. They're going to be just incredible. Oh, we have a little richer color here as well. But we have that green dyed mammoth tooth. We have ancient bog oak. This is over 5,000-year-old bog oak. Yeah, I'm glad that you're seeing me and hearing me again. Let's hope we can keep it running this time. And then we have some layered G10, black and green. On the back side, you can kind of appreciate it there through the tape, how it's going to be layered. But this is going to be an awesome pair. Might be the winning pair from this group here. But as I was saying, it takes a long time. It's a real tedious process to build scales like this. To get everything just right, it takes a bunch of time to surface everything and get the lines lined up. Yeah. The Churchill Falls deal. We'll see. But yeah, these are gonna be real nice. We're gonna put this on. You know, we're building these. Sometimes these are built for an order, so the customer requests something like this. We take the time to build one set special for that project. That's not the case this time. This is a bunch we're gonna start throwing together right now. Custom scale sets like this. And these will be completely finished, ready for drilling and glue up on a knife, and they'll be put back in the shelf. And as we finish knives, you know, production models, Warriors, Yellow Fox, Bake Apples, Tuckamores, things like that, we will pick from our selection of finely crafted scales. That's the way we're gonna work to do it and keep it this year. So that way it's, you know, you haven't got this whole process to go through every time you build knives, right? It's not happening at the same time. It's a little bit more efficient than that. Trying to work on systems this year, improving the systems of K&N knives to improve speed and efficiency. So you guys get your products in your hands much faster, improving the shipping system and all of that. You should just get as I mentioned before, a better K&N knives this year. Rock, this is a 2-part epoxy we use on these. Nothing as brittle, nothing like a cyanoacrylate or a super glue or nothing like that. Those would work fine once you get the scales backed onto a knife, what's holding this doesn't really have to do much then. But until that point, when you're handling them, drilling them, it needs to be a real good quality glue. So we go all out and use a 2-part epoxy, the same stuff we use for putting the handles on the knives. Here we have, again, ancient oak with mammoth tooth, G10 spacers. These are real nice. Some ancient oak, some teal burl, teal spacers in there. Real nice. So this is just a lot of fun to do these, because the resulting knives, if you go back to when Dad and I were at working K&N Knives here full time, some of the knives from that year were the finest knives through the shop since I've been running. We did a lot of production knives, not as many like high-end premium custom projects that year, but a lot of high-end production model stuff. So our normal models, your Tuckamores, your Warriors, your Yellow Fox, those types of things, but in like premium handles, this kind of thing. It does, of course, drive the prices up a bit, rather than just a plain G10 or micarta scale, because of the time commitment. As I mentioned in the last stream there, big time commitment to put those scales together. A lot of man hours and tedious work and that kind of thing. Amanda's Adventures. Oh, you've been watching for a while. Before My Family. That's been a while. It's been an exciting journey. That's for sure. We've gone through, if you were watching Before My Little Family, then you're probably were watching in the TV tray in the driveway days. That was back in St. John's when we lived there. I was doing work in the driveway, no workshop, nothing, but I still got it done. We were fortunate enough when we moved to St. John's, we had a little two-bedroom apartment. We took one, of course, for our bedroom, and the other I took for my work. So I set up an old table in there and some of those black plastic shelves, you know, you put together. And I had my little basic tools there, my sharpening stones and my leather and stuff. And except for going to university, I was in there in this little spare bedroom doing these projects, sharpening, restorations, leather work, this type of thing. Everything you could do sitting down in a fully drywalled, nice bedroom in a new home. Anything I could get away with. And then for some of the rough work, like the axe work and things like that, I'd go out in the driveway, and I had one of those $15 Walmart TV trays. I'd open it up in the driveway, run a little extension cord out from the kitchen. I'd put my bench grinder on it, or I'd, clamp the axe handle to it and use my spoke shave, that type of thing. Not ideal, but I got it done. I think there's a good lesson to be learned in that, of working with what you have at the time, making stuff happen. And then when we left university and we moved back to our first little apartment, which actually that little apartment, that first garage, if you guys remember, I worked in with no heat. That garage and that little apartment we were in at that time, that era of filming, belonged to my grandparents. They're both passed now, unfortunately, but it belonged to them. They were still living in like the front part of the house. They had a little apartment, a rental apartment that we were renting, and I used the garage because Pop wasn't out there. And no heat. Talked about putting in a little wood furnace or something, but we all decided best not for insurance reasons, yada, yada, yada. We made it work. That's where K&N Knives officially started. And that's where I left teaching. And I was working pretty much full time in that little shed. And then we bought our first home, and I went build a workshop there. From there, we're right here. So some of you remember all of those stages, which is wild. That was before I had 4 little screaming girls running around my house. Time has moved fast, lots of changes. Of course, this shop here, this shop is luxury. We have in this space alone, not counting my whole building, but this space alone. Let me see if I've got enough phone battery charge to take you around the shop. Not really. Not really, unfortunately. But this space here, I wasn't planning on live streaming on my phone tonight, so I didn't have it charged or anything. Look at this. Look at this beautiful shop. This is roughly here 40 by 40 with 9, maybe 10 foot tall ceilings, I believe. And all concrete slab floor, full heated slab, bathroom, dedicated grinding room, 3-phase power here, along with a converter and 200 amp standard household power as well here, where we're running, you know, all the standard 110 or 120 volt machinery. This is basically as luxurious as it gets here. Very, very nice. Thermostat there on the wall. If I want a little warmer, turn up the digital thermostat. That's all you gotta do. 4 girls, Amanda. Yep. 4 little girls. One of them is just about to turn 1. That's my youngest. Hey, Jim. Jim from Georgia. You guys start throwing some comments in. I'd like to be chatting a little more here. I'm rambling on like a dog chewing on a bone, but I would love for you to throw down some questions or comments. I hope you all had a good week. If there's anything you want to chat about, questions about the shop or about my story here. I posted just yesterday about the King Canada tools, about my milling machine. Actually, that might have been today, my King Canada milling machine. I've got a bunch of King Canada, King Industrial. So King Canada has like a homeowner line, which I'm not a huge fan. I've never been a huge fan of their tools. I think they're lacking in some ways. But on their industrial side, oh boy, if you get into searching up the King Industrial tool lineup, their lathes, their milling machines, their belt grinders and sanders, and they just have an incredible lineup of tooling. Dust collection, basically anything you can imagine in the industrial tool lineup, they've got it going on, and all really nice stuff. If you go on Instagram and search up Dusty Lumber Co., I believe his name is, he works with King Industrial, and he has a lot of their industrial woodworking type tools, and just a tool for everything. It's incredible. Man is asking what I'm up to now. You would still like a piece of my work? Oh, if you head to KyleNoseworthy.com, Amanda, you can see the list of my available work right now. If you shoot me an email at kyle@np-inc.ca, you can shoot me an email. We can chat about something if you're serious about looking for something. Mr. Ricardus, my next unique project will probably be the boat project. The boat project. I've been delaying a couple years on this project for a couple reasons. One, space. Just this shop here has been consumed with cane knives. The front portion of the shop has been taken up with my other business, Coastal Service and Fabrication. And it's just everything's been busy, you know, ramping through. And so I just haven't had the dedicated time to set up a big project like the boat project, which requires, you know, a bunch of space to get out the materials, to get out the tools. It takes a bunch of time that I haven't felt like I've had. And I don't want to do that project until I can do my due diligence in filming that project, because it's going to be a good one. And I've had a bunch of you email me about it and asking questions because you're boat guys, and even if you're not a boat guy, you just love boats and you hope to one day be a boat guy. So I want to do my due diligence in doing a great job with that project, in filming it properly and getting that content out to you all. So it's probably one of those things where I've like built it up and built it up and built it up into this huge thing that now I'm almost afraid to get started, because I don't know if I'm ready to take that on yet. I've probably built it up too much, to where the point where I just kind of need to grab the materials and just make a start. Make a few cuts, start putting something together, and once it's in motion, you can pick at it, and if the camera's here, I can film it. I'm really excited about that project. I've been dreaming about this console for a few years now, and I just love my boat. Every year we're using the boat more and more. Any boat guys here? I see we got a number of people here now, but Edward, welcome from Idaho. We all enjoy your knife projects. Thank you, sir. I've really had a kick up lately in the restoration projects and the customization stuff. I have so many knife projects inbound to me right now that are on the way in from all over North America for me to work on. Buck 110 customizations, a bunch of Puma knives, bunch of Grandfather's Hunters, RH Pal, restoration work, all kinds of stuff on the way in, and I plan to document as much as I can to keep in front of you guys. I know you like the restorations. Chris Ball from Grand Bank, you just started to get into sharpening? Nice. Good luck, buddy. It's a lot of fun. The world of sharpening. I found over this in the past few years as I get more and more people come to my shop on a daily basis and we have conversations. I'm realizing how many different worlds there are. We get settled into our day-to-day in our own jobs, and we get invested in our own careers, and kind of all of our conversations kind of revolve around that, and our friends we've built are kind of through that, or connected in some way, and your hobbies end up being geared toward that, and that is your world you live in. And you don't imagine until you get a commercial fisherman sit here at the bench for an hour and talk fishing. And I'm fairly good at prying. When I get someone at my, I'm a very question-based person. All through school, I heard, stop asking questions, too many questions, just grilling all the time, just curious and wanting to find out more information. And so when I have a fisherman sit at my bench here and we talk for an hour, you find out that this guy has an entire world, an entire life built around this career, right? And all of his pastime, most of his phone calls, most of his conversations, most of his friends, most of his hobbies are like tied into some way to fishing, and he understands the fish markets and the global fish markets, and he understands the weather patterns in a way that other people do not. And so he has this whole world that the rest of the world, like me, are totally disconnected from. I don't know anything about it. The stuff he was talking about was just common knowledge. Of course, this is how it is. I had no idea there was such thing that people were running jobs like this, that there was this type of market to make money on. And it's just brilliant. Same thing, you get talking to someone here to the bench about the logging industry, and they've spent a life in logging and a logging career. That is their world. They live in it, and you realize you're just on the outside. You don't know anything about it. Construction, the same thing. Home building, I would say, is the same thing. Knife making. I get people, I still get some guys come around here, and they come in, they see the knife shop, and I keep getting the question, not as much anymore, but you actually make money at this? There's somewhere, who would buy a knife? Who would need this, right? When you get talking into prices again, their mind is just blown that there's a market for this, for premium handcrafted products, for heirloom quality knives, because they're not in this world. And us that are in the knife game and are in this world understand that there's a massive population, and you could sit down and talk all day about knives and their uses and steels and handle materials and care products and sharpening. It's a whole world if you want it to be. The guys that are into hunting, same thing. It's a whole world for them. They spend their time checking game cameras and sitting in tree stands and and cleaning their rifles, and their Christmas gifts are hunting stuff, and their birthdays are hunting stuff, and it's their screensaver on their phone. It's their world, right? Everyone kind of has their world. It's really interesting. Hobbies are important, Chris. I think hobbies are extremely important. This was kind of the whole premise behind my television show, The Newfoundland Hobbyists. When it started, the goal was, and still is, to help people pursue hobbies. Get out there and try something new, because really, in a sense, all of what you see here, this beautiful shop that I was ranting on about, and this whole world that I was just explaining that I live in, the knives and the materials and everything, this whole world has kind of stemmed out of what were originally hobbies for me. Like you mentioned collecting, who was it there? Yeah, Chris, you mentioned you're getting into sharpening. You've collected knives for years. Those hobbies I started in collecting knives, and I had a nice little knife collection. I loved to tune them up and sharpen them up, and it just went on and on. And I built a following on here, and then what turned into kind of a customer base, and it's just snowballed, and I've pushed really, really hard to build it what it is today. It's not like it just naturally fell open and, I've stumbled into this business or this career. It's been a lot of active work, but it still comes out of my hobbies, or is stemmed out of there. And I think that's maybe a big problem now when I see young people get to the point where they're ending high school, and I think they really don't know what they like. They don't know what they want to do, because it's not as common to have hobbies anymore. To be into building stuff, and to be into creating and designing, and it's just so easy to not invest in those types of things. There's so many other easier, more attractive ways to spend your time. And so you end up not really knowing what you like to do. Tough spot to be. I can't imagine being in that spot, not really knowing where your skills lie, not knowing what you like. And then we put the pressure, and it's sort of our fault, but we put the pressure at that point then. You got to pick a career now to spend your life at. That would be a pretty hard thing to do. By the time I finished high school, grade 12, I knew where my skills were. I knew kind of what I was good at, and I've tried so many different things. I knew kind of the different fields I like. It's tough situation. Paul Delaney, nice to hear from you, sir. I hope you're doing well. Brian Abbott, hey, buddy. Nice to hear from you on this Saturday night. I'm not sure. There's a few more people dribbling in there now, but I'm not sure how many have been lost on the other live streams. This is my 4th or 5th live stream tuning in here tonight. Just trouble, technical issues, problems with computer, problems with the internet, and so on. Now I'm on my phone here, which is different angle because I'm plugged into the wall, but we're getting through, having fun. If you could hit that like button, just helps push the video a little harder. Amanda, Warncliffe EDC. Yeah, that would be a great option for kitchen use. I've actually sold a bunch for that reason. Part of the reason I developed that pattern in the first place was for that specifically. Nice thin grind. Would work really well as like a paring knife for that type of deal. Brad King, issues shipping stuff to the U.S. since the postal strike ended. There has been some issues only recently, even weeks after the strike ended. I believe USPS would not accept packages or deliver packages through to Canada Post, because Canada Post, our shipping carrier up here, our postal service that was on strike, because they had been so backlogged from striking, UPS or USPS, sorry, basically would not connect with them anymore, wouldn't accept and wouldn't cross over. So they've just been kind of sitting in limbo. Some of you guys I know that attempted to mail knives up to me from around the Christmas season, and products for restorations and stuff. Some of you, if it didn't already make it to border, USPS turned it right around and shipped it back to your house. You received it back. Some of you, if it made it into Canada or it made it to border, it's just been sitting, and it's only just now